This is a continuation of my previous video where I mentioned that the next in-depth series will be around falsifying patient records and how Dr. Kondoff knowingly was falsifying patient records, both in my case as well as Ms. Kelly Croft's. And we're going to go in depth with the board. We're going to cover what the board is aware of, and I can tell you that once we did receive my patient records, which I have to tell you I was in complete shock, and thank goodness that I had kept detailed notes, thank goodness that I had taken selfies that were date stamped. And so there's no question that he knowingly, not only did he knowingly falsify them, but he recruited people to lie on his behalf. And we'll talk about that. We're going to talk also about his inability to keep proper records, often treating women on a Friday when there was no staff around. And you'll see in a lot of the correspondence with myself, right? He'll say, well, we could do it on a Saturday or a Sunday. So it's always when there's nobody around. We're going to cover all that. And the question is not, did Dr. Kondoff do this? The question becomes, what is the board going to do about it? So stay tuned. And like I said, this is going to be a very long series, but I want to be able to demonstrate just to what extent this dentist is willing to, cover his butt. And just, if there's one thing you'll see in all the correspondence is he has no ability to take his oath seriously in terms of patient duty of care. He has just no concept. He couldn't care less. In many cases, he is personally injuring people. And you'll see in the terminology that there's zero accountability. What's really interesting is even in the terminology, you'll often see him delegate that responsibility to other people. He'll say, well, Ms. Martel refused anesthesia, or she refused to sign documents, or maybe the lab recommended, right? So he's always trying to offload the decision making onto other people. But at the end of the day, let's not be fooled, right? With that license, there's only one person who, with a license, had the ability to call the shots, and that was him. And so any decisions or actions that were taken, at the end of the day, were unilaterally his decisions to make. Stay tuned.